it's Jackie here, and today I'm going to be talking about one of my favorite series, the Illuminae Files by Amie Kaufman and Kristoff. First off, what I like about this book, and many other people like about this book, is the layout. The layout involves a lot of graphic design, there's drawings, there's diagrams. It's a totally different approach to literature. First, we're going to talk about Illuminae, the first book of the series. The main character is Katie Grant, and she's pretty cool. She's badass. She's the rebellious heroine of the story. I like her a lot. And there's also Aiden, who's the artificial intelligence, who he's kind of like murderous in the beginning, and then towards the end he starts to grow empathy. So he almost becomes human-like. So that's pretty cool. I liked those characters a lot. There's also romance within the story. Katie Grant falls in love with this guy, and they send a lot of cute little text messages to each other. And the thing I don't like about a lot of YA books is that they throw romance in there when something drastic is going on, and it's like, what is the point of this? You're supposed to be worrying about what's going on in the story. Like, your main priority shouldn't be like, I have to have so-and-so fall in love with me, or whatever. In this book, in this series, actually, they do it the correct way. Like, it makes total sense because these characters are going through this with each other, and they're building stronger relationships because of what they're going through, and then they ultimately fall in love. The ending of the story, towards the end, it left me in tears. Like, I'm not someone who cries when I read a book. Maybe The Fault in Our Stars I cry during, but I don't really cry during books, ever. So it just proves how attached you are to the characters, how deep they are, and how well written they are, that determines whether or not you care about them. In the beginning of the first book, I was like, towards like the first 100 pages, I didn't think I was gonna finish it. Because it's a lot of like world building, and you're like, what is going on? I don't understand this at all. But when you get towards the end, it all makes sense and it all flows together and more stuff happens. It's like in the beginning of the book, it's just like normal stuff going on, explaining the world building, but towards the end it's like bing bang boom, all this stuff happens and you're like, what? In the second book, not so much. It's kind of action packed all the way through, and the main character's name is Hannah. She's feminine yet badass also, because her father is like the captain, commander, so she learns a lot from him as far as combat and everything else goes. So, but what I don't necessarily like about her as much as I like Katie is that she's very pampered. What makes her different from Katie, not a negative thing, but she's more like combat oriented, very athletic, physical, and Katie's more like intellectual. She knows how to hack things. Like, she runs all the computer systems on her ship. And they're two very different characters, but at the same time, they do have some similarities because they're the heroines of the story. And I like that the main character is a girl, because it kind of changes in a way, because I read a lot of books where male characters are the main characters. Not for any reason, it just happens that way. I also like Nick, who is in Gemini, the second book. He is a nice guy all throughout, and he's pretty comical, but at the same time, he went to prison. So there's something that he's hiding from Hannah, and when she finds out what it is, she's not that happy about it. And it almost ruins their friendship. And I thought that once Illuminae was over, that the characters wouldn't be in the second book. So I was a little like, oh, I don't know how I'm gonna feel about that, but they actually are in the second book. They show up later, so that's cool. Overall, I love the Illuminae Files, and I think you would love it too. It makes me cry, it makes me laugh. I just feel like Amie Kaufman and Kristoff are such talented authors, and you should definitely check it out.